Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 29. Once again, another Monday. Monday. Yes, we missed last week.
Do you remember that?
We did.
That's right.
Yeah.
We did.
It would have just been me and Tefty being like, so what'd you play? Well, we played Destiny and like a little bit of Monster Hunter.
Yes. What were you saying, Eric?
I was saying the Monday thing. Do you remember when you used to play like the mini clip website where it was like the bike game and it used to be like Monday? Or was that just me? No.
Was it Sunday?
Never mind. No, it was. That's how it started. Like on the little pre-roll ad thing, it just used to say that before, like all the little bike Excite Bike style game.
Wait.
But,
oh,
really?
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I loved Excite Bike also. That was great.
It was good.
Yeah. Well,
last week I hurt my back on Sunday. I was hoping I could do the show, and then Eric's, I can't remember what you had to do, but you had an appointment that you had to go to, so you couldn't be on the show. And I saw that coming through the Twitter feed. I was like, uh-oh.
Oh no.
Mission critical.
I could probably just sit still for an hour. Like, it won't be that bad. So I came into the office
live from Briar's bed.
Right?
That's what we needed.
It took me about 15-20 minutes to get out of bed, and then to walk over to the office. I sat down in the office to just try it out. I'm like, oh god, no. And then I laid on the floor and texted you guys I wasn't going to be on the show.
Is your back getting better yet?
It's getting much better. It's still not 100%, but it's getting better.
The
hard thing about it is I haven't been playing video games because I can't sit up to play video games.
Briar, is this because you deadlifted 900 pounds?
Yeah, I was get my gains in.
Just every now and you got to flex, right?
I just overdid it, I was down at Muscle Beach showing off the package.
Yeah. Presenting and showing the package. Got it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So big news this week, the Game Awards. We did a live kind of watch and talk over kind of thing.
Which was really fun.
That was super fun. We got to do that more.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
It's still available. You can watch that on the Twitch channel if you look up the VODs on the Twitch channel. Yeah. We didn't put it over to YouTube. I might try it though, because other people have.
Yeah, okay. I would try it. See what happens.
Yeah, I think you'd be fine.
Yeah.
If they demonetize us or copyright us, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's all good.
One of the funny on that topic, I saw a funny tweet after following the Game Awards that apparently one of the parent companies of a company that aired a trailer during Game Awards then claimed the Game Awards channel.
That's the kind of shit I'm worried about.
Imagine that. Like you're at their ceremony. It's like, no, wait a minute, we've made a mistake. Oh no.
Yeah, but typically with this stuff, it's not like they're gonna take down the channel or the show or the episode. It's just they're taking ad revenue.
They take the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's not like a mark for posting something bad on YouTube or something.
Yeah, you don't get a copyright strike, but you do get the ad revenue taken away.
Yeah,
which isn't a big deal for a video like that.
That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But we wanted to talk a little bit about what happened, right? We want to talk about the actual announcement of the Xbox Series X. We want to talk about our favorite games that we saw, kind of our favorite moments. There's another thing on that list that it was escaping me now.
Let's talk about favorite game.
All right, let's do it.
Favorite game that we saw there. New game.
Yeah. I think honestly that Godfall game looked really cool.
Yes. Yeah.
The armor.
Stabby grabby.
Stabby McGrabbies. Yes. Also, it's next gen hardware too for Godfall. Right?
Yeah. That's cool. The fact that we got to see technically speaking, the two first ever looks at next gen games running, right? Because we've heard about all the console stuff, but they haven't actually shown any demos yet. So that was cool.
And the takeaway is that they look like PC games. Amazing.
Exactly. And the console looks like a PC as well.
Yes.
So basically, we're buying console PCs. Look at that.
There's a countdown on right now to who puts a small form factor PC in that Xbox Series X first. Right?
They'll announce there'll be like an Xbox Series X, like Ultra Edition. That'll come with like liquid cooling, like a glass window or something.
Right? RGB all over the place. It's got RGB actually. It's got a green light on it.
True. It does. The green light on the inside. You can see it through the.
Wait, is it RGB though? Does it actually fluctuate colors?
No, I believe it's just green.
It's just a light.
Then it's
just GGG.
Then it's already nerfed by 20%. Yeah, GGG. It's already 20% nerfed on its power. You got to put RGB in there.
Wow, that's
true.
gonna run like
It's true.
30% slower. Yeah, Godfall. It's a fantasy action RPG from Gearbox. It's coming to PC and to Xbox
Hopefully
Series X.
crossplay, because
Let's
that
hope
seems
so.
to be the thing that people want to be doing, especially going into the new console generation. Because we've already got that with like Call of Duty and Fortnite and some other games. So I would hope to see it as becoming the new standard,
especially
next year.
Because it's not a looter shooter, it's a looter slasher. So
Yes.
that would mean to me that probably mouse and keyboard versus controller isn't going to make that much of a difference. Hopefully that since it's on the new hardware, it'll run 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So that won't be an issue. You know, like hopefully all those things kind of add up to a place where everybody can just enjoy the game no matter what platform they're playing on it and play together with their friends, no matter, you know, how rich or poor they are.
That's honestly the biggest takeaway that I hope we get from the next generation is that like crossplay for both PC and all these consoles really becomes the norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something. That's the other thing I want to talk about. Is some things we're hoping for the next gen. So keep that one in your back pocket.
Okay. Okay. My bad. I'm jumping the gun. So Godfall looks awesome. It's like a slusher does interest me 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I mean, as someone that's notoriously not great at aiming when it comes to shooting games, like the ability to just get a sword and like just hack people up, like I can't miss with that, right? I can't miss with a sword. So it's like I think it's basically like Borderlands meets Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter is kind of like a looter, but it's not a conventional looter. So if they have, and the thing is, I know it's not the same. I know it's not Gearbox Borderlands guys, but if it's like the Gearbox know their loot stuff, if they could bring because the one thing that I always liked about, like we sort of said before about like Borderlands, is that they're not afraid, well, unless they nerf all my builds, which they have been doing recently. But that aside, right, normally they're not afraid to let you just do stupidly over the top stuff, right? And I feel like, imagine if you had the over the top build potential of Borderlands in a game where you've got swords and like you have like stupidly massive swords and you can do this. I could imagine like screen filling combos where you're like doing aerial combos and just dropping swords down and meteors raining down. Like that could be so cool.
I would love that.
Yeah.
And the armor really sold me. I saw it and I was like, that looks really cool. And it seems they're going very high fantasy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that which makes loot super interesting, because when stuff drops, it's gonna all look gorgeous.
Yeah.
So,
did you guys see the 5-second GIF that actually showed actual gameplay? Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
so what's the gameplay look like? Is it third person action?
Yeah, third person. But like when you see that GIF, I'll find a link for you like really quickly. But when you see that GIF, like that is like, because obviously the trailer, the CG one, like didn't really sort of give you too much. But when you saw that little flow of there's like he runs up behind like an enemy and tries to sort of, I think he tries to attack him. The enemy just grabs him and just like powers him into the floor.
Wow.
Oh, really?
So fluid. It was just it was. I'll try and find it.
It was interesting because I mean, I'm probably stupid to say this, but to me, with the combat really did remind me of like a Souls type game, because it looked like it wasn't just hack and slash, right? It looked like he was approaching the enemy tactically and wanting to guard and make sure to time the attacks right, which I was really happy to see, because that's what I wanted. I didn't just want like a go in there and kind of slash around. Just to have, a bit more mindfulness about how you approach stuff.
Yeah, I kind of feel like
Discord, if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the market has been missing something like that, where it takes Souls style combat, but adds something of the variety of, say, like MMO Light or like Destiny did with first person shooter, action looter type of stuff. I feel like that's kind of been missing in there. Like, there's been a few games that do some things. Eric's got timed out in our channel. Oh no, Nightbot, how could you?
No. I can't believe it.
It's funny, like not seeing that happen yet, and maybe Godfall will be that.
Yeah,
it might be. It's very interesting to me. It looks like it's got a lot of things that I'm going to really enjoy. So
yeah, this looks cool. It almost has like a Destiny. Like the brightness and like the colors of it kind of remind me of Destiny, but it's third person, and I could definitely see where you're getting the Dark Souls influence and maybe a Monster Hunter influence as well.
Yeah,
and it looks like there's like 3 other people kind of standing around, also slashing at this boss looking guy.
Yeah. I think the nice thing about these things as well, like whenever you play loot based games, I've always much prefer third person anyway, because if you're going to invest so heavily into like your gear, like I hate it when it's a first person game and I'm like, I can't see half the stuff that I'm wearing. I'm like, I want to see it. Like, I don't want other people to see it. I want to see my character. So yeah, I've always been a third person kind of person. So this is 100% up my street. Because it's funny, like I cover a lot of looter shooters, on the channel and stuff, but I don't. As someone like when I sort of grew up playing games, I'm not really massively into shooters for someone that plays a lot of looter shooters.
I wasn't either growing up. My first shooter was Call of Duty.
Okay,
before that, I was just all like fantasy RPG.
Exactly.
That was it. that was mostly my thing, and fighting games.
Yeah. So so it's just be good. Like, look, definitely super excited. I cannot wait to see more of that. I mean, the fact they've literally only given us one tiny GIF, like, I can't wait to see like the actual gameplay trailer for that. It's gonna look nuts.
Yeah, I am glad that they did show gameplay though.
Yeah.
Yes. Super excited to see actual gameplay for sure. Because you could only from the little thing you could only see generally what the theme is and that the armor looks cool, but that's really all that you could see.
Yeah, and the animation looks pretty great too.
It does.
Do we know who's I know it's Gearbox making it. Do we know who's publishing it, or are they self-publishing?
I
thought
Gearbox is publishing. Counterplay Games is
the developer. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought Gearbox was just the publisher.
Okay.
Interesting.
Another game that I got really excited about when I saw it was Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
Oh my goodness, that trailer gave me goosebumps.
Holy crap.
Hellblade trailer was insane.
Senua's Sacrifice came out last year, kind of in the middle of the summer, and it was, it was an independent game, and there weren't a lot of people talking about it. And when I tried it, man, it was a transformative experience. It was so good that it literally changed the way I look at mental health. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And to see that they've got Xbox behind them. This is like being touted as a launch title for the Xbox Series X. Like, that's kind of a big step for these guys. I'm really excited for this one. I can't wait to see where the story goes. I can't wait to see what they do with the gameplay, because the gameplay was so revolutionary. Well, the way they did kind of like
the experience,
the interactions. Yeah, it really was. I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, that trailer was insane. Like, holy crap. That's an experience right there. I'm curious if they're
graphically it was gorgeous.
Yeah, well, just like the first one, the graphics were insane for that. And it was considered a AA game, not a AAA game. I'm curious if they're going to evolve the gameplay, or if they're going to double down, stick with what they had, which was good. It was definitely good gameplay. And then just do more story-based type of stuff. I mean, obviously it's going to be story-based, but like, curious if they're going to grow that gameplay.
So excited for it. They do really good stuff with capturing the actual actor's face, and seeing it in that trailer on the new Xbox was pretty phenomenal. So
yeah,
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
That game was amazing.
Good as I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah.
For facial animation.
Yeah.
We're in that weird kind of like pre-next gen position where they start to show this stuff and you're like, what's actually gameplay and what's actually like, because I mean, it said in that video, they said it's all in engine, but obviously there's a lot of stuff you can have that's like not gameplay, but still in engine. So it's like, what's actually, but I mean,
also the engine could be running on a high-end PC,
True. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. Actually, honestly, Briar, I feel like we're at a point now where like most of the cinematics can be rendered in engine on a lot of these platforms now, because they look so good.
It really does look fantastic. This one we didn't see any gameplay for either, right?
No. Just looked like instead of fighting against the insanity, she was just like,
she was like, let's join them.
Embracing it.
I'm gonna become a warlord. Let's go.
Party up.
The first game was kind of weird because it had combat, and the combat was, it wasn't the best combat I ever played in a game. And it had like some Tomb Raider-esque like puzzles and stuff, but they were real brief, and like it was definitely not the focus. But I'd love to see them like lean into it, like Watts was saying, kind of like I can't wait to see what they do with the gameplay.
Yeah, but they had a parry system in there. It was a lot of fun.
They did, yeah.
It did, yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was a solid system. To say that obviously wasn't their focus, the combat.
Yeah,
I think it was solid.
Yep.
Gears Tactics was more interesting than I thought it would be, to be honest with you.
I didn't actually see that one.
That was, it's Gears of War, but it's a XCOM type of tactical strategy game
too. Yeah,
Well, I think a lot of these games, especially the ones that were available or announced for Xbox, are going to Steam and to Game Pass.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I totally thought that was going to be a mobile game. I was like,
I did
oh,
too.
Gears Mobile. This actually looks pretty cool. And I was like, oh, it's a full game. Got it. My bad. Yeah.
You know, it was a great game. Sports Story, the one they announced.
Sports Story?
You see it, the Nintendo game. It's like, so it's the next step from Golf Story. Now, I'm not somebody, right?
Like, right? No,
has anyone played Golf Story?
No, I missed it.
No.
Okay, right. So bear in mind, I normally hate sport video games, right? I don't play anything like Madden, FIFA, none of that. That's all to me. That's in the trash bag, right? But Golf Story, right? And golf is not an inherently exciting sport to me. I apologize to anyone who played golf. I used to play golf. Doesn't matter, right? But anyway, so I'm not really selling it in a very good way. However, when you play Golf Story, what it actually ends up being like is a traditional old school like NES style RPG. Think like Mother meets sort of elements of kind of Stardew, right? So instead of it, although you play golf, you go around these villages, you explore.
I think I do remember this.
Yeah,
yes.
and you have like quests and stuff, and you go.
I wanted to play this actually, and I never did.
Yeah. And then golf ends up literally just being like the mechanic through which you experience the story, but the golf is just like a fun mini game instead. Yeah,
the thread of the story.
Actually, and you do think that you're playing golf and you're solving puzzles and like you're kind of doing like funny little like silly things. So it actually ended up being like a really fun game. The only one letdown was they did that thing they do in some video games where you get to the very, very, very end, and the last thing is like, hey, make sure you do everything all over again before you can get to the final encounter. I'm like,
yeah.
So I stopped there. But otherwise, solid game. So the fact they announced Sports Story, which now looks like they've really doubled more down on like the RPG elements, the puzzle elements, and the fact it's not just golf, there's other sport elements. I'm excited for that.
That actually sounds pretty interesting.
I wonder if you could do curling.
maybe.
Does it say what sports
like that's my sport.
Sports Story?
I'm picking curling.
I don't think so, but we saw some football stuff. We saw some like baseball stuff. We still saw some like golf and stuff. So I guess it'll be. But yeah, it's the way I would basically sell it would be like a sports game for people that hate sports games.
Solid.
There you go.
Yeah.
One game that I got very excited about and then hugely disappointed about during the trailer was 9 to 5, which looked like it was going to be a shooter with a bunch of obnoxious rabbits running around killing each other, and then somebody shoots a TV and it turns out it's just another standard Counter-Strike looking shooter.
It's Siege meets Counter-Strike.
It's a tactical shooter.
I was so bummed.
I know. I was super bummed.
I would have been more interested if it was the crazy rabbits in a tactical
That's what I'm
shooter.
saying. Yeah.
Even if they were being super slow and tactical, at least I get to be a crazy rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least it's something different than just another military shooter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, faking out a game inside a game is just, that's a bad marketing move. That's to me,
especially
it says,
when the first one is fun and goofy and like flashy and colorful, and people are like, oh, what's that?
Yeah, because you have like a very small window of attention span with this stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's too bad. And also, the other one seems very generic. Like we've seen a lot of that tactical shooter stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. Briar's reading right now.
I am totally
reading about the tactical shooter.
Dark Alliance was announced. This is Is it a? I don't actually get this one. Is it a remake of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, or is Dark Alliance a world?
Maybe it's a world. I'm leaning towards it being a world, but I might be wrong because I know nothing about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The name has pedigree, right?
Dark Alliance?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is...
Is it connected to the Baldur's Gate world?
I don't know anything about Dungeons & Dragons, so...
we watched the same thing. I didn't really come across or walk away from it being connected to that.
No,
but I could be completely wrong as well. Who knows?
Maybe it's just in the same universe, but has nothing to do with the other Dark Alliances.
Okay.
So it shares like similar world lore, but that's about it. Games do that sometimes.
Are there any other games we want to talk about, or should we start talking about the actual hardware announcement?
Well, I don't think there were many other games. I mean, they showed the Final Fantasy trailer, but obviously that just looks awesome anyway. So
that did look awesome. Yeah.
And they showed Ori, and that just looks amazing.
That looked awesome.
So.
Yeah.
That got me playing Ori and the Blind Forest again.
I want to play it again. Yeah, before the new one comes out.
Actually, isn't that out on Switch now?
It is. Yeah.
It is. Yes. Yeah.
So I might actually get it on Switch.
Nice.
I mean, a nice way to play that, actually.
The best console, the definitive console. But on that note, let's talk Xbox
console.
Series
All right.
X.
Series X.
The Series X just beforehand, like a fun anecdote. I recorded a load of videos last week as like a preparation for taking some time off at Christmas, and I recorded everything about like the Xbox, but on all of them I referenced Xbox Scarlet, and then they're like, "Well, we're gonna go and announce it," and now all those videos are wrong. So
and all the comments are just gonna be it's Series X.
Series X, Eric.
Series X.
Wow, man.
I hate the name. I hate the name, and I wish that it was Scarlet. Xbox Series X. It sounds so generic. To me, it sounds like they're just like leaving the door open. Actually, I think they actually said that they're leaving it open so that they can have multiple consoles in this generation. But it's just like there's too many X's. There's 3 X's. It's triple X.
Wow.
It's like, how do you go to a store, not knowing, like, imagine like you're going to buy a console for your kid or your nephew or something, and you don't know exactly all about this stuff. Like the new Xbox, I guess you call it, the Series X. Is there going to be a Series S and a Series X, or is it going to be, the Xbox S and the Xbox X in the Series X? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Well, I think that must be because remember there was that rumor before they announced Series X. There was a couple of rumors going around. There was Scarlet and Lockhart, and one was said to be like the powerful machine. One was said to be like a purely digital machine. So maybe they want to like lead with the Series X announcements to be like, we're the most powerful console, la la la. And then next year when they have like, I guess, their own event or E3, they might be like, and there's also this machine.
Yeah. The rumor is Lockhart is going to be about the power of the current X.
Okay.
Right.
The One X.
Xbox One X. And the Scarlet is going to be 4 times the power of the current
the XTC. Ecstasy.
Like, what? This is so confusing to talk about, though, because of these stupid names.
Yes.
Microsoft has been doing this to us for years now. Come on.
The funny one was, though, there was an article from IGN like the week before that was like, Microsoft says the name of the next Xbox will indicate what it does.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like
Series
Xbox
X.
game machine.
Yeah, I'm just like, how does Series X in any way imply what it does?
Right. Also abbreviates to Xbox Sex.
It does.
Yeah. People been saying that. It's like, oh my gosh.
I mean, I am always excited for new hardware. I'm just like
100%.
that. I like new hardware. They did announce, like, they showed off the new controller. The new controller looks a lot like the old controller. I guess it's been small adjustments to it, just in the shape to fit more hands. They said like it'll fit 97% of hands instead of 94% of hands better.
Yeah, I wonder what they're actually doing. Like, whether they mean because if you look at like that compared to the PS4 controller, like, the Xbox controller is slightly bigger. Like, I like it. I feel like it's the perfect size. But I know there are some people that maybe kind of people that are more used to PS4 controllers say that the Xbox One feels a bit big. So I don't know whether maybe they would shrink it down, but I hope they don't change it too much because it is one of the best controllers in my opinion.
Yeah. The only thing I've never liked about it is where the buttons are on the top next to the triggers. It's like I hit those by accident more on this console than I do on any other console. And I'd like to, if they're going to adjust something, I'd like to see that adjusted just a little bit. They've also added a share button to the new controller, which is cool. That's something that both the Switch and the PS4 have now. And then the console itself is kind of this monolithic.
It's a PC tower.
Yeah. It does look like a small form factor PC.
Yeah.
It does.
I like this in a world where I live in one of those IKEA apartments and everything is perfectly organized and I could place it right on top of my entertainment center and it doesn't block
the plant next to it.
It doesn't block the IR remote on my TV or the sound bar, or it never gets dusty here. I love it in that world. But in the world I actually live in, where I need to put this thing somewhere and I don't want it I don't want it sitting outside. It literally, like, if I put it on the entertainment center in front of my TV, it will block a little bit of the TV.
You can't.
I don't love it in that way.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But if it's laying down, I feel like that's taking up a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
It's an odd
like
shape.
a log.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope they bring out one that looks like a log.
Like a Yule log with a red RGB.
Xbox Yule
Like
log.
a little block. They could do like the Minecraft version, and it's actually a block, right? They could just like paint it like that.
That would be amazing, actually.
No,
The special
But you're not
editions
gonna
for
do
this
it.
thing are going to be endless. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like I do like it. Like in my office, this thing is perfect. I'll just put it anywhere. I don't really care. I assume since it's got like this one big fan on the top, it'll be relatively quiet, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, it would go perfectly next to your Apple trash can, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's old news now. You got the cheese grater, but you could have your Apple trash can and then the Xbox Series X side by side. You know.
Yeah. It doesn't have any USB ports on the front.
Interesting. Well, everything's going wireless now.
Unless they're doing one of those things where, you know how like remember the 360 had like the hidden hatch where you could like, so I know the render looks very clean, but maybe it's got one of those secret compartments where like you fold it and like it pops out, because it'll be kind of annoying not to have one on the front.
It's
super annoying. Yeah. Like really annoying. Like I know everybody loves wireless controllers, but I almost exclusively play with a wired controller.
Yeah, same.
Ghost Woodland in chat said it does, so this could be just misinformation. Maybe the ports are hidden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe it's hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably just for that like nice clean trailer render where they're like no light.
Yeah, they're going. They're going for the Minecraft log. You know, just In fact, they're going to put this in Minecraft. Why wouldn't they put their console in Minecraft?
True.
Because they own Minecraft,
right?
I don't know if you guys saw this, which is sort of off topic, but not really. There was a game journalist who tweeted out the Xbox Series X, and then they were like, "Oh, and there's been a new leak for the PS5 shape," and it was literally a fridge that they painted black and put PS5 on it. And articles actually picked it up, and they were like, "This looks like fridge. Seems a bit weird, guys." And we're like, "It was a joke. I was joking. It is a fridge." It actually is fridge.
Literally a fridge. Photoshop.
Literally a fridge.
That is funny.
I found hilarious.
Rather conveniently, though, the dev kit model for the PS5 has this. Well, I know the dev kit model might not actually be indicative, or probably isn't indicative of the actual final design, but currently is like this weird U shape with a gap in the middle. So maybe they've built it so that the Xbox One X sits in the middle.
That's right in it.
And then that forms the ultimate console. So like the way you got to get crossplay is by combining your PS4 and your Xbox One.
It's like when you play Sonic and you put Sonic on top of Sonic, so you can play all the Sonic games.
It's like forming Voltron.
Exactly. There you go, right? Yeah. You'll get that, and then you get your Joy-Con, slide them into the side of the PS5, and then you be like, and then you put it on your head, and you become the machine.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
I already can't wait for the slim version of this console. Like I like the look of it. I really do. Like I think it looks cool, but just like in my life, especially in my living room, it just doesn't fit. You know,
would that
like
be the Xbox Series XS?
Yes.
There you go.
They'll call it the NXS.
For me personally, I could care less what it looks like. I know that it's going to be kind of an eyesore for some people trying to figure out where they're going to set this digital log somewhere, but like I could care less because that stuff usually goes in the cubby to the side anyways for me. The biggest thing that I'm excited for is the advancement of technology, because when the consoles have a base level power that is high, then all games tend to take advantage of more processing power and get more advanced because they literally can have that much power available to a bunch of installs with the consoles. And that is 90% of my hype for new consoles is the advancements in gaming.
100%. Definitely,
They have talked about how they are going to have NVMe SSDs in this thing. The processor and the graphics hardware is going to be much more powerful, about 4 times the power of the Xbox One X.
That's great.
It'll be able to display at 8K. It'll have 4K 6. It'll target 4K 60 for gameplay. And there was another spec that I found fascinating that's escaping me right now.
They can goes up to 120 with 1080p.
Oh
right?
yeah, variable refresh rates.
Variable refresh, yeah.
Yeah. Currently, the Xbox One X can do that as well. The variable in real-time ray tracing. Yeah.
Right.
In fact, a lot of people said that in that. I keep wanting to call it Godsmack. The Godfall trailer is that you could actually see some real-time ray tracing in that trailer.
Interesting.
Yeah, and possibly in the second one as well.
I was watching I was literally watching the GIF back, and you can actually see it in the ground. Ooh, that's fancy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited for this thing. I'm excited. I'm excited for the PS5 and the Xbox One X or the Series X. I got to tell you though, the Series X, because of Game Pass and how powerful that service is,
it's gonna
like
be
to
insane,
me, that's such a must buy. And their backward compatibility, they're gonna support games back to the original Xbox.
I feel like it's almost like that's where they've been slowly positioning themselves, because you think about sort of what was it? They're like, I mean, because obviously recently, like Sony have obviously been pretty strong for quite some time anyway, but Microsoft had their period of time. Was it the beginning of the generation? There was that one time, I can't remember the time wise. I think it was either the beginning of this generation or the end of the previous one. But there was a time when, like, I think it was PS3 time, when Sony were kind of falling a little bit back on the back burner. They didn't really have too much, and that's when Xbox was really dominating. And then in this recent year, sort of, it feels like they haven't really got too much. Like, the sort of running joke is like Xbox has no exclusives, and I feel like they've been quietly in the background just building up for what they're like. They've been acquiring studios, they've been setting up Game Pass. So I think they're basically like laying the foundation. So exactly that point, it's like if they generally both launch in holiday 2020, and then it's a case of you got to go to the shop for your kid, and they're like, oh, which one do you want to buy? It's like, okay, you have your Xbox Series X with Game Pass and 100 games, or PS5 and the one launch game that I can afford to buy. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
I think they're starting to understand that they have PC as well. So no matter what exclusive comes out that's just not coming on PlayStation, it's out on PC. So people don't need to buy that new console. So they're focusing more on having that Game Pass. And the fact that you can have, like you said, access to hundreds of games and games that come out in the future, and you can play them instantly. You don't have to worry about buying them. That's huge. That is
huge.
Big deal, especially if they bring in like crossplay and stuff with PC. That would be insane.
Yeah. Crossplay, cross save. If I can have the PC up in my office and the Xbox Series X down in my living room, like, I'm a very happy person at that point, because I have access to all my games. I have access to 4K 60 FPS gaming in my living room, which has been problematic up to this point. Like, that makes me very happy, and like, I'm very attracted to this console. I'll be buying a PS5 too.
Yeah, you want those exclusives?
I definitely, I need those exclusives.
Yeah.
So there's people in chat were talking about PS5 being spherical. I would like Sony to double down on the most awkward potential shape. And I think a sphere would be good, but they could they could go inspiration from the Death Star when it was like partially destroyed.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be a spherical Death Star with a concave. And that's where you have to actually push the button to turn it on. Is the
right? But every time you push it, it just rolls off the table.
Yes. This is it right here. Definitely. And then it would light up like the Death Star. So it'd just be super uncomfortable to have to figure out a place for this. But that's what you got to pay for.
Better yet, right? They should make it so that it starts quite small. So people are like, oh, I'll put it into my unit. But then when you turn it on, it opens up. So suddenly they go to turn it on. They're like, no, wait, no, I broke, no. And they break it, like, it's not. So that'll be it. That'll be it.
So what do you guys want to see out of the next generation of consoles? Like, what are you guys hoping for here? I mean, obviously we want more power.
I just want a baseline of everything having 60 FPS for sure, and being able to have a higher field of view, because then that really does open up crossplay and all of that stuff across everything.
Yeah.
Without there being problems.
I think that's...
I do wonder if 60 FPS... I mean, everybody says they're targeting 60 FPS. Like, Sony and Microsoft say they're targeting 60 FPS. But I do wonder if the games will target 60 as well.
That's going to be super depressing if they don't. I mean, like, come on.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of games that don't now.
Yeah, but I know we're going into a brand new generation of consoles, and it's still not 60 FPS. Would be real sad. I'd be sad.
Unless they're going for that cinematic look. Maybe it's all right. 8K cinematic.
It's been known that the current consoles have CPUs that are struggling. Like, definitely struggling. And it is the bottleneck for the GPUs. The GPUs aren't, they're not bad in the current consoles. They're not 1080 Ti's, but they're not bad GPUs. So the things that have been holding back current games when it comes to frames is 100% the CPU. So If the CPU is 4 times faster,
that's half correct. I feel like that's what a developer would tell you because they decided to target 30 FPS to get better visuals in screenshots.
Yeah, but there's only so many cycles that they have in a CPU where all the calculations can happen
they're building
to render
the
a frame.
game.
Like they can't.
They're building the game though. Like they can build a game to target 60 FPS
Briar,
if they want.
Why can't Destiny 2 run on a Nintendo NES?
Because they don't want you to be happy.
Are you telling me that they could have made it for the Super
Also,
Nintendo, but they chose
now
not to?
I want a side-scrolling Destiny.
That would be awesome.
I want an 8-bit Destiny.
I mean, there is a legitimate bottle cap to how much power you have in these consoles.
I understand that, but you know that going into making your game.
Yeah, but
Destiny 2, for instance, you could play on the PS3 and the Xbox 360.
So what they've said is that the CPU cycles for how much physics calculations are happening in the game world have bottlenecked it, and it's not the GPU that's bottlenecked it for the frame rates.
The physics calculations that we built into our game cannot run at 60 FPS on
They
the
also
console.
make the way the game feels, Destiny, feel like Destiny because of those calculations. And if you take away those, a lot of those things that Destiny feels like goes away.
I understand what you're saying, but I only see it as half an excuse because you built the game.
Briar, I feel like you're going into a house and saying, listen, I know this is 2,000 square feet, but why don't I have 3,000 square feet in this house? Excuse me, developer. You could have put 3,000 square feet in here. Why did you put 2,000? You could have made
a basement.
Well, if I asked the developer to build the house with 3,000 square feet, then yes, I would be very upset.
It's like it's after the effect, though. You know, it's like coming in. Anyways.
Anyhow, we've talked about this a bunch of times. One thing I'd really like to see out of the new consoles is USB-C all around. I don't want to see another micro USB port for the rest of my fucking life.
That'd be grand. That would be great.
Yeah.
I'd
buy any wire for a controller would be great. Not having to look for a stupid tiny USB wire.
Yeah.
Anyway.
True. I'm hoping they have like a reliable, like a way to. I know this is something that happens like on a case by case basis for like games, but like if there's a platform level solution, and I know they mentioned it in the Xbox One X post, but like if there's a platform level solution for just like reliable netcode across all games, especially when you think about like fighting games and stuff like that, like if they can have that, because things like I fully appreciate the power, and I can look at things like Godfall and Hellblade and be like, yo, that's incredible. But I've still never ultimately been a graphics driven person. Like I'm just like gameplay's my thing. So like for me, the more kind of exciting thing is like what if they could, because obviously if they can get like reliable netcode across the board, that obviously opens the world much more for like online worlds and more like especially because you can start doing more MMO stuff on consoles. They're starting to do like more of those with, I mean, not even just Destiny, like full blown MMOs with like Black Desert and Final Fantasy and stuff. So
yeah,
I'd love to see more of those like expansive worlds that just persist. And for that reason, then it definitely needs to be like cross-play as well. Cross-play, cross-save. They just need to all agree. They just need to agree for the next generation. Be like, we're going to work together. Doesn't matter. And then just have a happy ecosystem.
I 100% agree, Eric's like the fact that there seems to be a lot of variants of what's possible with peer-to-peer and server technology. I feel like we're getting to a point where a lot of companies now have solutions to give server technology to make some of these peer-to-peer woes in gaming hopefully go away. And I know that is a very complex topic when it comes to network engineering and all that, but there's also been years and years of development of this stuff, and I really hope that becomes standardized so we don't have super strange experiences, and then also the potentials of DDoSing and hacking running rampant in certain things, like that. It'd be nice for those to get just squashed and become a thing of the past.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This one's going to be real particular to us, but I'd love to have 2 HDMI outputs.
Yes.
One for the capture, one for your monitor.
Duplicate. Yeah. Man, how much could that cost? It would make my life so much fucking easier.
Be like, listen, Sony, this is going to sound very high maintenance, but could I have 2 HDMI outs?
Yeah, just chuck another one on there. or a display port and an HDMI.
Oh,
how about that?
Display
port
nice. Would be nice. Yeah.
Sure.
Display port, and how about if it supported 1440 by what is
How
it,
about
2160?
3 HDMI outs, so I could have one going to a laptop to capture stuff, one going to the computer to stream it, and then one to the monitor.
Oh, nice.
Done.
I say we.
Done.
I go
grant
for
your
3.
wish.
Well, that's fine because Xbox will have you because as part of the series of family, they'll have the Xbox Series XYT for YouTube creators.
Oh,
Yes.
there we go. XYT, yeah.
So there you go.
I do like how everything's got a share button on it, and I like the positioning of the share button on the Xbox's controller, the new share button. It's because it's kind of in the middle. It's not where you expect a select button to be or a start button to be. It's not like the Stadia. I'm always hitting the share button. Yeah, I'm always hitting the share button because it's right where I normally hit a button when I'm playing Destiny. I think the Switch, I'm constantly taking screenshots as well. I would like a very easy to use editor right in the sharing button with a link to where I want to share. So like if I want to take a quick screenshot or I want to take a quick, 10-second video, I can cut it down to exactly the length I want in, 5 seconds or less. And then shoot it off to Twitter, shoot it off to YouTube, wherever I want it. Shoot it off to Instagram.
You know what I want as well? Yeah. I want them to have a functionality in the share button that's like the kind of record that where it captures 30 seconds, but instead it saves it and lets you put it on Twitter as a GIF, not as an MP4.
Oh, that'd be real nice.
Yes.
Post a nice high quality GIF. That would be glorious. Also,
nice.
If PS5 could get rid of that stinking touchpad, that would be really nice. But the interesting thing as well, I remember there was a patent that went around like a few weeks back on like a potential layout for the PS5 controller, which looks largely speaking, surprise, surprise, similar to the typical DualShock model, but it does seem like it's changing form ever so slightly, and it's like they're moving gradually, incrementally closer to the Xbox shape.
Exactly like this.
Yeah, that's
like
same shape.
Scuff.
It's this. It's the shape of the impact. It's in between. Yeah, it's in between.
Which is cool because that form factor wise is better, but it's also interesting because if Microsoft is slightly adjusting their controller, let's say they make it marginally smaller, and PS5 are making theirs marginally bigger, we're eventually at the point where they're basically the same.
Yeah.
I'd be okay.
I'm okay with that, to be honest.
I'm cool with that too.
I would be very happy with that.
Honestly, I never really play with stock controllers anyway.
No.
Like I always buy a Pro controller. It'd be nice to get a Pro controller in the box. I always hoped that they would do a Xbox One X version,
Series
like
X
Xbox One X Pro. Yeah, that had like a Pro controller in the box, because I never it's basically I probably have 10-ish controllers for Xboxes or Xbox Ones and PS4s that basically go untouched because they either came with consoles or Yeah,
same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
because I always use either a Scuf or
actually,
a Microsoft Pro controller.
Another good point is paddles. Let's have paddles on the base controller.
Yeah.
I know it's not happening, but
I think that's a Scuf issue, actually.
I think it is. Yeah, because they had like the original patent, and then they worked with Microsoft to bring it to the Pro.
Yeah.
So they'd have to work with Sony.
So in the next announcement, it'll be Microsoft has acquired Scuf.
Actually,
they buy everyone.
News today: Corsair has acquired Scuf.
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, literally.
So they've got
today.
Elgato and Scuf now, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Continuing is like their
Microsoft
own.
has acquired Corsair.
Corsair. So they're continuing as like their own company. Obviously, they're just all under this family.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. People are just hoping for RGB Scuf controllers. That's all people are hoping.
Yeah. I'd be down for that.
I'd be okay with that, to be honest with you. I got RGB Sony controllers, and I really have no idea what color they are at any time.
Yeah.
I remember there was a company at one point, I think it might have been Power A, that was selling controllers that had little fans in them, and they had vents so that they'd blow air out on your hands. So if you got sweaty hands, it'd kind of constantly be cooling your hands.
Interesting.
I wonder who made those. I think it might have been Power A. I'm not sure.
I feel like that's the same people that probably also make the glasses with the windscreen wipers on.
Yeah.
I have a pair of those. Exactly. I wear them every day.
And the hat with the propeller.
Umbrella hat is helpful, though. I would totally get an umbrella hat. So then I have hands free. Got the umbrella on my head.
Well, I have to put that on your Christmas present list.
That's Secret Santa.
Umbrella hat for what?
Umbrella
hat. I don't know. It was a pretty exciting Game Awards, like overall, though, with the hardware announcement, with some really cool games. I wasn't too big on the award show part of it, but
yeah.
It was cool. Yeah.
Sekiro won Game of the Year though, so I was
that was great. Yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
I walked away knowing that I have to play Disco Elysium.
Yeah,
I did too.
Is that on the Switch, by the way? It
No,
looks
I don't
like it would be
believe so.
amazing on the Switch, doesn't it? Oh, it'd be so
I want
good.
to say it's PC only.
Is it Steam only?
That's what I want from next generation. Everything on Switch.
Steam on
Make it
Switch.
happen, you cowards.
Yeah. Steam on Switch. Yep.
You know what I really want, Eric? To be honest, is I want to Switch too. I want to Switch Pro.
Oh, really?
That would be nice. That would be very nice. Either a Switch Pro or like a Switch where the same normal version, but then they've got a power dock where you put it in the dock and then suddenly it gives it like a lot more CPU or processor power.
CPU dock.
Switch Series X.
Yeah.
I want a better way of attaching the Joy-Cons because my Joy-Cons are constantly sliding off when I'm like trying to turn the thing on and turn it off. I want a glass. I want a glass screen. I want a better screen because the screen on that is actually kind of bullshit. If you like watch anything, like if you fire up a YouTube video compared to your smartphone, it looks terrible and it sounds terrible.
This is a games console. We don't watch YouTube videos on our games consoles. What is this?
Maybe we don't, but I do.
But if you want a better way to attach your Joy-Cons,
I want a better CPU and graphics. Like I really do. I want
true.
Mobile technology has moved on since the Switch came out, and I'd love for Nintendo to upgrade the Switch to the Switch 2 or Switch Pro.
That would be cool. In the meantime, if you want a better way to attach your Joy-Cons, may I suggest a Switch Lite?
I just bought 2.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. They're great. I love it. I literally haven't played my old Switch since getting my Switch Lite, unless I need to record gameplay. No, but I do
agree.
Is the
screen any better on it?
Technically speaking, the screen is worse, but because it's smaller, it actually feels better.
Yeah, you know, like when you look at a 480p video on your gaming monitor, you're like, ugh. I mean, when you put it on like a small phone, you're like, oh,
yeah, that don't look too bad.
Honestly, the screen on it is great. I love it. But no, I definitely agree. A Switch 2 would be fantastic because they've definitely come in that sort of weird time where like they jumped the gun. They went a little bit earlier for the next gen, so like they're now out of sync with the people. But I mean, Nintendo have always been one of those companies that are just like we don't need the power. We just it's not stopping them making fantastic games.
They've always done that. Yeah,
which are like much less graphically intense. But now they're putting everything on Switch. They might have,
which is great.
It is great,
but I want a little more horsepower out of the thing. I want a little more battery life out of the thing, which I think can be achieved with the newer mobile processors that are coming out.
True,
they're faster and more efficient, and that like I wouldn't even mind if they kept if they had like 3 Switches available. They had the Switch Lite, the Switch, and like a Switch Pro that cost more money, but it was it wouldn't bother me at all. But Switch X.
Switch, Series Pro, Series X. There you go. There we go.
And a new Metroid. I want a new Metroid.
Yeah. Do you want a 3D or 2D?
3D.
They're making Metroid Prime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They announced it, and
that's what they claim, Eric.
They showed a logo. When they show a logo, it means it's years away. I'm like, come on. I need my Metroid.
But Nintendo never lie. But you know what you can have in the meantime? You know what I can't wait for?
What's
a
that?
Game called Grand Blue Fantasy.
I was just about to post the trailer in chat so people know what we're talking about because I felt it coming. I felt it coming.
Post it in chat so I can see the trailer.
It's the Weeb sense here. We were connected. It was like it's about time to talk about a Weeb game. All right. It's like it's gotta be
it's
done.
Weeb time. Yep.
It's Weeb time. This game. So for anyone who doesn't know, Grand Blue as a whole, as a Grand Blue Fantasy as a whole, is a very big mobile game, huge following in Japan, and then obviously so as a franchise, it's massive to the point where it has its own kind of show in the year. There's like Grand Blue Fantasy Con or whatever they call it. So it's got a massive following. Like it's insane the numbers on that. And then they're now spinning off and doing loads of other titles. So obviously there's Grand Blue Versus, which is the fighting game, Arc System Works and whatnot. And there's Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which they've been talking about for a while. They went quite quiet because when they first showed the trailer, which was a couple of years ago, game looked fantastic. At the time, Platinum Games were working on it with them. They've since taken a step back. We don't know like why, but they've kind of taken they've been removed from it. Their logo isn't even referenced anyway, so I'm not sure what happened there. But regardless, the gameplay looks fantastic. This honestly looks visually it's stunning, and it's a 4-player co-op. I think you can obviously play it solo, but you can play it with AI teammates. But it's a co-op RPG. It's got like typical. It's to a degree. There's sort of like Monster Hunter / Dark Soulsy aspects to it with the sort of combat element of it. So it's all full real time, and it's uses the characters from the Grand Blue universe, the fantasy thing. So I don't know whether it doesn't look to me like it has a character creator. I could be mistaken, but it looks like it's the same way that like Riot, when they're spinning off and making their other games, they're still using their characters from their universe. I think Grand Blue are doing the same thing. But yeah, it just looks like, I mean, everything about it. Like it's got that kind of over the top platinum action style combat. You've then got like crazy anime crisp visuals in a sort of similar style to like Tales of Arise, like they showed recently at the A3. And it's co-op, which is awesome.
Looks really cool.
Yes.
Looks
yeah,
really
we got
cool.
to see a new trailer and actual gameplay, which is really cool to see gameplay. Yeah, I'm super interested in this.
Yeah. It's like someone said in chat, it's like a mix of like, PSO and Monster Hunter. Speaking of which, as a very quick tangent, for any of you guys that are, because obviously Phantasy Star Online is coming to Xbox next year. I can't do this because obviously I'm not in the States, but the North American closed beta signups went live today. So if anybody wants to try and be involved in that, you should go to the PSO website and sign up there.
Nice.
Thank you.
I
will do.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah,
I'm watching this trailer. This game looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
man.
the gameplay looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got those like crazy over the top like you know when you think like, I mean I'm guessing Platinum was sort of they probably completed what they need to do and then they've moved on. So it's still got that Platinum feel. You got that kind of Platinum over the top combat meets anime, so you can kind of just get away with a lot more. Oh, that's the thing we completely forgot to talk about in the Game Awards thing as well. The new Platinum game.
Oh,
right. I can't remember the name of.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find that.
It was cool.
What was the name of that?
I should know. I did a video on it.
Time to head to the Eric Gaming channel and see.
It was cool. Babylon's Fall.
2 was announced. That's right.
Babylon's Fall. True. Babylon's Fall was the Platinum one, which also looks crazy. Again, kind of typical signature Platinum style over the top combat, but this time it looks more like it's set in a Gothic style Soulsy sort of setting, which is very cool.
Yeah, it looks
cool. Yeah.
So yeah, lots of good games, basically.
It really is. Yeah.
If you're not familiar with Platinum, they have like a signature style to action combat that it really is unique to them.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why Platinum are one of the studios where like if a game comes up and before you even see the gameplay, like if it says their title, it's like Platinum Games, I'm like, where can I pre-order? Just take my money. I don't even care. I'm there. So they are definitely really good. But yeah, there's
There's a lot of good JRPGs coming out.
Yeah, and real-time ones, which is cool.
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't got time for turn-based. I need to be in control. I don't want to sit
immediacy.
There. Exactly.
It's great. Was there anything else from Game Awards?
Well, Game Awards?
Game Awards, I think that was it.
I think that was it from Game Awards.
I think Star Wars has got some stuff going on, right?
Yeah. So Star Wars, I think it was announced today. I think. But they're launching their... Oh, wait. Maybe it wasn't today. But there was the Star Wars Battlefront Celebration Edition. And they're adding a ton of customization items if you buy this edition of Battlefront. So the Celebration Edition is $39.99. But if you already own Battlefront, you can get it for $24.99 with all of this stuff added to it. That includes the base game if you don't already have it and all the free updates. More than 25 hero appearances, which includes appearances by Rey, Finn, Kylo Ren, which is really cool. And that's coming out tomorrow. They're going to be in the game tomorrow.
Nice.
There's going to be 125 trooper and reinforcement appearances, more than 100 hero and trooper emotes and voice lines, and more than 70 hero and trooper victory poses. So you're getting a ton of the new cosmetic stuff.
Cool.
For this
But is Jar Jar Binks playable yet?
I don't think so.
When...
Is he? I don't know. Probably not.
See, I'm not going to return until they put him in there. There needs to be justice for Jar Jar. This is unacceptable.
For Jar Jar.
Like he's constantly overlooked, and this is unacceptable. I will not watch The Mandalorian until they've done that. I'm not going to watch the new film.
There's actually a Gungan joke in The Mandalorian this week.
Really?
Yeah, they were making fun of Jar Jar.
Oh yeah.
Then I'm definitely not watching it.
That's right.
People think I'm joking, but I'm one of the few defenders for Jar Jar.
We'll actually be streaming Battlefront, 2 on Wednesday together as a group.
Yep, that's the plan.
Yeah, I never jumped in. Obviously, this is a game that suffered from the backlash against all the microtransactions, which they were ridiculous. So that was definitely warranted. But the game since then has been doing really well. And I see all the time people saying how much they enjoy it and recommend hopping back in. So I'm pretty excited.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Especially with Star Wars coming out on Friday. Well, Thursday.
Oh, is it Friday?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. So it's going to be really fun to be able to jump in, especially as those characters.
Yeah.
Time to reactivate all the Star Wars spoiler bans in chat.
Right. The bot stuff to prevent it.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to stream Friday. I'm just going to go see the movie.
See it.
And then I'll set up the bot with all possible spoilers to protect everyone else.
I got tickets over the weekend, so I'm going to have to dodge for a couple days.
Yeah. I got tickets on Friday night, so I'm going to have to dodge for like
not being employed and all. I prefer to go see movies on like Mondays and Tuesdays at like 11 a.m. when there's nobody in the fucking theater.
That's the real tech.
The only problem is if like a crying baby shows up. You know?
Oh, that's why you go to the 21 and over movie theater.
Oh yeah,
at 11 a.m.
with the fence. With the
hell
fence
yeah.
reclining chairs.
This is amazing. That is pro.
I'm unemployed over here. I can drink all day.
You just throw the popcorn at the baby.
Right. We're calling an Uber to Star Wars.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, because that's where I'm going to see Star Wars. 21 and over. Food delivered to the. So I usually get there a bit earlier, and while we're watching all the trailers, I'm eating my food. You can order cocktails.
What's your preferred movie food, Watts?
I think I always order their burger specifically because their burger is so good.
Really?
Their food is really good in general. The tacos are great. Yeah, like everything at that place is amazing.
Tacos. Watching a movie. Are you sitting at a table or are you sitting in a chair?
So like you have it's a reclinable chair, so you can like sleep if you want to.
Yeah, I am familiar with these.
Boring.
I like these.
It has like a table that comes out that you can eat on.
You got like a service button, right?
I like to get the eating out of the way before the movie, so then I can just.
So no eating during the movie at all? No popcorn? No Raisinets?
Usually not. Normally, I just get
no goobers.
Large drink.
A large drink, that's risky business.
See, that's how I am too. I don't want to have anything distracting me. That's like food is distracting, and I get absorbed in food. So if I'm eating something delicious while watching something, like I'm not paying attention to what I'm watching. I'm thinking about the food.
Especially when it's dark and I'm like, "Where's the burger? Oh, found it. Oh, there's a French fries on my lap. How did that get there? Didn't see it happen."
Wait, I didn't order any French fries.
And then just save the hard shell tacos until like the really, really important part in the movie. And someone's talking, and it's like crunch. Sorry.
I'm exactly the opposite. I like popcorn, and I like to just kind of munch on it throughout the movie. And then I'll go out and eat dinner after the movie.
I feel
and then as fellow bearded people, we get out of the movie and realize that popcorn is in our beard.
Popcorn everywhere.
No.
There's that. And also, I feel like I maxed out on popcorn too quickly. Like halfway through, I'm like, oh, I had too much popcorn.
Yeah.
I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
Which is going
I'm going to stick with my gourmet burger before the movie.
There you go.
But is it salt or sweet popcorn? This is the important question.
Both combined.
Oh, the mix. Okay.
Yeah. My wife turned me on to that. I like it.
That's a good idea. I feel like they haven't quite perfected the sweet popcorn, right? I've said this before, but I feel like you know if you look at sweet popcorn, there's like the one yellow bit that's the sweet bit, and then it's surrounded by polystyrene. So they just need to pay someone to go and pick out the yellow bits, right, to create the perfect sweet popcorn box, and then it'll be great. There needs to be a job for that.
Yeah,
you're keeping people employed. You're a job creator.
I know, right? I like to enable people.
Theater, we have popcorn pickers, especially to make the popcorn delicious.
Might take hours to get your popcorn, but you can guarantee it'll be a good box. There you go.
I mean,
I'm really looking forward to Godfall, guys.
Friars is 100% all in now.
When I'm looking at you guys, the GIF is running of the gameplay like right below your heads, and I keep looking down. I'm like, this looks good.
It looks really good. Yeah.
We gotta wait a year.
I hope the game's good.
Yeah. The years go by fast these days.
It's true. Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
It's true.
Should we wrap this one up?
I suppose
I think so.
Yeah, next week we'll probably dig into more things.
Jiva came out.
Yeah, I think we should save it for next week to jump into Monster Hunter World
when
so we can talk
hopefully
deeper.
you play it.
Yes, because I would also like to play it.
We need to get you through Kitten, Monkey Boy, and Xenogre.
I've missed a lot.
There's a Monkey
Before
Boy?
getting to the siege.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
My guiding lands is only like a quarter done.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. Yep. Rough. Yeah, I definitely need to play it. All right. Well, is that the episode then?
I think
I
so.
believe so.
The-
Side quest
The game
complete.
Yes,
Complete.
SideQuest complete. Game Awards edition.
We need a button that plays
Yeah.
like different versions of Quest Complete songs from different games.
Nice.
If only we
Yeah,
knew a
just not
musician.
rotator.
I know, right?
Hmm.
I actually literally just started thinking about like how I would synthesize that in various forms. It's pretty funny. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate all the support. Shout out to everyone on Twitch and YouTube and various podcast places, and shout out to our Patreons as well to make the show happen. You guys are amazing.
Absolutely.
If you want to find more of me, you can talk to me at Teft on Twitter and catch my streams twitch.tv/TeftyTeft.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
I am Arix. You can find me on Twitter, Arix, and YouTube at Arix Gaming.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You find me going back to bed.
Nice.
And playing some Star Wars with us this week.
That's right.
Yes.
On Wednesday.
Exactly. All right.
More details to come.
Yep.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next
Thanks,
week.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.